In this lesson, we will focus on solving trinomials, but specifically we will focus on a trinomial that is written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. For example, Arnali x squared plus 7x plus 12. This means our a is 1 here, and then our b is 7, and then our c is 12. We will focus on a trinomial that is in this form. Let's look at our first example. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Always factorize a trinomial. Globally 2 brackets. And then always globally x here and then rabal x here. This is if udilale x. The reason rebel x here is because x times x is x squared. So that is why global x here and then rabal x here. And then from here, we're going to create a sign at this bracket and then create a sign at this bracket. So we're going to create a sign at this bracket and this bracket. This technique. This technique always say berek. So the first thing, we're going to this sign, the first sign always in the first bracket. And then we're going to create the second sign. This bracket. Record this sign times this sign. Always utujia the sign ya matomo or multiply your last sign. So globally positive times positive. And then positive times positive always keep positive. And then from here, ronyaka the factor sija constant. Actually ronyaka the factor pairs. So we're going to create this factor pairs the easiest way. 12 divided by 1 get 12. And then 12 divided by 2 is 6, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. I think you get factors is 12 the village. And then from here, ronyaka the factor pairs. Ronyaka two numbers, jelore or the multiplier, they offer the constant. But how the adder, they offer this middle term. So ronyaka a number jelore how the multiplier, they offer 12, but how the adder, they offer 7. I think it's obvious or 4 and 3 because 3 times 4 get 12 and then 3 plus 4 over 7, and then from here rangwala 4 and then rangwala 3. Always a bigger number each the first sign, each a first bracket. So 4 and 3 a whole 4, so 4. So this is our answer. This technique ya bereka always. So this is the answer. Our level this one. Ranali x squared minus 5x plus 6. So we are the same thing. The first and first are globally 2 brackets. And then from here, rangwala x here and then rangwala x here. And that's about always the first sign. Always rangwala kamara bracket matom. So this means are globally negative. And then finding the sign nekamo the next bracket or negative times positive. So negative times positive get negative. And then from here ronyaga the factor pairs the constant. So constant is 6. And then from here 6 divided by 1 is 6. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. I think you get the factors such as 6 in the village. And then from here, ronyaka two numbers, jeloreka the multiplier, they offer our constant, but the adder, they offer negative 5, they offer the middle term. I think it over 2 and 3 because 2 times 3 is positive, you offer positive 6. And then because are only 2 signs, obvious ra robale minus 2 minus 3, then rakria minus 5. Rakaserge 1 and 6 because already only the sign is negative and negative. So you carry negative 1, negative 6, we create negative 7. So era or get 2 and 3. and then always ra tseba gore the first bracket is a bigger number, so this means re tlo re 3 and then here ra 2. So this is our answer. And then what about this one? So we will do the same thing as usual. Ra ba le 2 brackets and then mo over x and then mo over x. Ra tseba always the first sign re ngwala ka ra bracket ya matho, so this means re tlo ba le positive here, and then finding the next sign re tlo positive times negative, and then positive times negative ke negative, and then from here ro nyaka the factor pairs. Ro lebelela di factors ja the constant. Our constant is 16, so from here 16 divided by 1 is 16, and then 16 divided by 2 is 8, and then 16 divided by 3, but remember 3 is not a factor ya 16, so re tlo jump 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I think it factors is 16 di village. And then from here ro nyaka two numbers tse le go di multiplier di offer 16, but go di add di offer 6. Remember re na le negative 16 and then positive 6, so ga re di multiplier di tshwanetse di re fe negative 16. I think ro shumisha 2 and 8. Remember re na le a positive and negative sign, so positive 8 times negative 2 di re fa negative 16, and then 8 minus 2 di re fa 6, so re tlo shumisha 2 and 8, but go ka re shumisha 4 and 4, 4 times 4 di tlo fa 16, and then a kgone gore di ka go fa 6, so era gore re ngwala 2 and 8, and then always ra tseba gore the first bracket is a bigger number, so this means ro ba le 8 and then here ra ba le 2, and then this is our answer. And then what about this one? Go ka lebella this one re na le a trinomial, but a se ba ngwala in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So this means when o tlo tshwanela gore o ngwale in the standard form sa ax squared plus bx plus c, o ka kgona bona gore the standard it tlo ba in this way: x squared plus 3x plus 2. So when I always check out about file a trinomial yellow is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, hello in the standard form when I in a standard form. Now we did the same thing. The first thing rabale 2 brackets, and then rabale x here and then rabale x here, and then always the first sign re ngwala ka bracket ya mathomo, then re positive here, and then from here re positive times positive, and then positive times positive to positive, and then ranyaka the factors ja our constant. So ranyaka the factor pairs 2 divided by 1 get 2, and then I think it factors is 2 the village in this case, and then I think it's obvious morongwala 2 and then morongwala 1, because 2 times 1 you're for 2, and then 2 plus 1 you're for 3, so this is our answer. Now our level factorizing trinomial, the leading coefficient is not 1. The leading coefficient we kgona bona gore ke negative 1, so our level gore ga ile in this way re dira bjang. Ga ile in this way re tlo tšea negative 1 as a common factor, so ga re tšea negative 1 as a common factor re tlo tšea each term re divide ka our common factor, negative x squared divided by negative 1 re tlo ba le positive x squared, and then ra tšea negative 8x re divide ka -1 ro kry-a positive 8x, and then -15 divide by -1, then ra kry-a positive 15. And then from here o ka kgona bona re na le a trinomial ye le gore the leading coefficient is 1. So this one ke the normal factorizing trinomial ye le gore be re dira previously. So re tlo šomiša that same method. Re tlo ba le 2 brackets. That -1 re beya ka montle, and then ra focusa on these brackets. Ra tsaya the first thing re tlo beya x here, and then ra beya x here. And then always re tseba gore the first sign re ngwala ka raga the first bracket, and then finding the second sign, or positive times positive, and then positive times positive ke positive. And then now ro nyaka the factor pairs tša the constant. 15 divided by 1 ke 15, and then 15 divided by 2 is not a factor ya 15, so ro lebela ya o latela. 15 divided by 3 ke 5. I think the good factors tša 15 di feletse 1, 15, 3, 5. And then from here ro nyaka two numbers tše le gore ga o di multiplier di go fa constant, and then ga o di adda di go fa the middle term. I think is 3 and 5. And then from here o ngwala 5, and then o ngwala 3, and then this is our answer. This -1 we tlogela gona ka montle, so this is our answer. And then what about this one? Every time I factorize a trinomial, the leading coefficient is not 1. As you can see, the leading coefficient is 4. So auto level la rona le a common factor. O ka kgona bona rona le a common factor ya 4, because ka 24 rona le 4, and then ka 36 rona le 4. So re tlo ntsha 4 as a common factor. Just like the previous one, re ntšhitše -1 as a common factor. So re tlo ntsha 4 as a common factor. And then from here, we'll divide each term by our common factor. Four and 4 will cancel, and then we'll x squared. And then -24x divided by 4. -24 divided by 4 is -6. So we'll -6x. And then positive 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And then from here, we can a trinomial where the leading coefficient is 1. Because every time I reach the common factor, I try the leading coefficient is a positive 1. So in this case, really a positive 1. Then from here, Roshumisha the same method over Roshumisha. And then Razabor always the first sign rengwala karaga bracket ya matop. So globally negative, and then from here Roja this sign right times this sign, negative times positive, it's negative. And then from here Runyaka the factor pairs. Runyaka the factor pairs is the constant. 9 divided by 1 get 9, and then 9 divided by 2 is not a factor, so row 9 divided by 3, and then you're for 3. And then I think in this case it factors. From here let's have two numbers the multiplier therefore our constant, and then the adder therefore the middle term. I think it's obvious, or key 3 and 3. And then this is our answer. And then our level this one. Our level this one are ax squared minus 5ax plus 6a. But this expression are a leading coefficient mo ile gore it's not 1, so this is a. And then o ka kgona go bona gore le ka mo this term re na le a, and then le ka mo this term re na le a. This means re na le a common factor ya a, therefore re tlo ntšha a as a common factor. And then ge re ntšha a as a common factor, and then ra divide each term ka our common factor. This means re tlo ba le ax squared, and then ra divide ka a, and therefore a and a di tlo cancel, so ra šala ka x squared, and then on the other term re na le minus 5ax, and then le yona ra divide ka common factor which is a. This means a and a di tlo cancel, therefore re tlo šala ka minus 5x, and then ra dira the same thing on this term. Re tlo ba le 6a, and then ra divide ka a, therefore a and a they are cancel. This means re tlo šala ka positive 6. And then now ka kgona bona gore re na le a trinomial e le gore is written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and then leading coefficient ke 1. This means re tlo šomiša the same procedure e le gore be re šomiša. Re tlo ba le a, and then ra factorize this one. Ra tseba gore always re ba le 2 brackets, and then ka re ka bracket ya mathomo re tlo ba le x here, and then mo ra ba le x, and then ra tseba gore always re ngwala the first sign ka re ga bracket ya mathomo. This means re tlo ba le this sign, and then gore kgone kry-a sign ya on the next bracket re tlo re negative times positive, and then negative times positive ke negative, and then from here ra lebelela constant ya rena which is 6, so re tlo nyaka the factor pairs. Re na le 6, and then 6 divided by 1 ke 6, and then 6 divided by 2 ke 3, so ke di factors ja 6 di feletse. And then from here re nyaka di number je 2 tše le gore ge re di multiplier di re fa our constant which is 6, and then ge re di adder di re fa the middle term which is negative 5. So ka kgona bona gore re tlo šomiša these 2 numbers. This means re tlo ba le 3 here, and then ra ba le 2 here, because negative 3 times negative 2 di re fa positive 6, and then minus 3 minus 2 di re fa minus 5. So this means this is our answer. And so that's it for this tutorial.